Hey everyone! So we need to talk about what's going on with Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, because it's a whole mess and it's getting ugly. We're talking subpoenas, accusations, and a friendship that's completely imploding. It all centers around the movie It Ends With Us, and who knew what, when, and how involved Taylor really was. Initially, Taylor Swift's team put out a strong statement, basically saying she had almost no involvement with the movie. They claimed she never set foot on set, never helped with casting, and never contributed to the creative side. Her only connection, they said, was licensing her song My Tears Ricochet for the film. They even specifically denied she was involved in any casting or creative decisions, or that she scored the film. This came out after Taylor was officially subpoenaed, which means things were already getting serious legally. But here's where it gets interesting. Multiple sources close to the production are singing a totally different tune. They're saying Taylor's denial was a strategic legal move, pushed by Blake Lively to help Taylor avoid liability as legal pressure mounted. Essentially, Blake reportedly urged Taylor to publicly distance herself, not because the claims were untrue, but because admitting involvement could lead to serious legal consequences. Insiders suggest Taylor didn't make this decision independently, implying she was under pressure. This narrative started to crack big time when Justin Baldoni, the film's director and co-star, gave an interview. He flat out confirmed that Taylor had indeed been shown Isabella's audition tape for the role. And not just that, both Blake and Taylor apparently approved Isabella. Isabella herself later backed this up, saying Taylor had been consistently present and emotionally involved from the very beginning of her journey with the film. Even Blake Lively described Taylor as someone who lived this with me regarding the film's development, which certainly implies more than just a song license. So, if Taylor's team is saying she never saw edits, never gave feedback, and never shaped creative decisions, how do we reconcile that with the director and the lead actress saying she was involved in casting and emotionally present? It doesn't add up. It looks like Taylor's official statement was a carefully crafted denial for legal reasons, not a reflection of the actual truth. Sources are hinting that digital evidence like emails and call logs might even exist, proving Taylor's early and ongoing involvement. If that's true, it would completely blow apart her team's official story and expose a coordinated effort to hide her real role. The big takeaway here is that Taylor appears to be caught between a rock and a hard place. She can't admit what really happened without potentially damaging her own reputation or publicly turning against Blake. But by continuing to deny what multiple people have confirmed, she risks looking dishonest and complicit. It's a seriously compromised position, and it's all because of this movie and the legal heat surrounding it. What's really wild is that Blake Lively actively used Taylor Swift's name to promote It Ends With Us. This wasn't an accident. It was a clear strategy from mid-2023, with Blake positioning Taylor as a silent creative partner. She dropped hints about Taylor's presence behind the scenes in interviews and on red carpets, even naming Taylor as someone who stood by her side. The subtext was obvious. Taylor Swift, fresh off her Eras tour, was connected to this movie, giving it major commercial weight. Taylor's massive fan base, known for boosting everything from album sales to book charts, was seen as a potential goldmine. Blake and her team knew it, and media outlets picked up on these supportive friends quotes, putting Taylor's name in headlines. By September 2023, internal projections showed a 30% jump in ticket sales if Taylor's name stayed quietly associated with the film. This led to promotional packages including My Tears Ricochet and marketing pitches to foreign distributors. But here's the thing. Taylor never agreed to be the film's silent ambassador. Republic Records confirmed her only official connection was approving that single song. She didn't authorize her name for marketing, wasn't under contract, and wasn't listed in any production company filings. Taylor was reportedly furious about being dragged into this legal fight, a fight she insists she had no part in. Blake has been exploiting Taylor's name for a while, but the subpoena took it to a whole new level, likely ending their friendship. When the subpoena hit in April 2024, Taylor's team had enough. They called the suggestion of her involvement a complete mischaracterization, but the damage was done. Fans were already buying tickets because they believed Taylor helped cast the lead, a rumor never corrected until legal filings forced it into the spotlight. Taylor reportedly felt deeply betrayed, confiding in friends that Blake had used her name and fandom for attention, then threw her under the bus. This shift in loyalty became very clear. In late April 2024, Travis Kelce unfollowed Ryan Reynolds on Instagram. Fans noticed immediately, seeing it as a direct response to Blake's behavior. In Taylor's world, social cues are statements, and this one was loud and clear. Taylor felt exploited by her longtime friend. Then came the quote that broke everything open. On May 12, 2024, the Daily Mail reported that Blake had called Taylor a dragon who helped seal the deal. This quote, reportedly from a 2022 production meeting memo, had Blake saying, "We have dragons behind us, Taylor's one of them." It implied Taylor's name was being used to close deals and secure funding. For Taylor, this was a huge red line. She had tolerated vague mentions of their friendship, but being positioned as a business asset without consent was completely different. Being called a dragon might sound flattering, but in this context, it meant her power was being weaponized for leverage. Taylor, who had stayed quiet for months, finally started sharing her side. Sources close to her said she no longer considers Blake a trusted friend, feeling blindsided and used. Legal experts now say Taylor's involvement, even if limited, can be formally examined under deposition. Whether she approved casting, influenced promotions, or was just in meetings, it's all part of the case now. Blake, meanwhile, has been playing a different game. On May 10th, she was photographed walking alone in Tribeca, smiling, holding coffee. Fans quickly called it a sympathy walk, especially since she had recently claimed in legal filings to be too traumatized to leave the house. YouTuber Shashflo called it out, saying Blake's appearance was a strategic setup to gain public sympathy, not a spontaneous moment of trauma. The photos were taken outside a known Blake drop location, where her PR team allegedly tips off paparazzi. No security, lingering from multiple angles, it all looked staged. This attempt to appear vulnerable while quietly manipulating the narrative is unraveling fast. The same Hollywood circle that once protected her is starting to step back. Blake's narrative is collapsing, and this time, the cameras aren't the only ones watching. The public skepticism around Blake's sympathy walk only intensified. On May 2nd, YouTuber Shashflo did a breakdown, calling Blake's appearance a strategic setup, not a genuine moment of trauma. She said, "She claimed she couldn't leave the house, but she can walk the streets of New York with a smile, a coffee, and a paparazzi-ready handbag? That's not trauma, that's a setup." The video exploded, hitting 500,000 views in just 2 days, and got picked up by major entertainment blogs. What really got people talking was the Louis Vuitton crossbody bag Blake was carrying. Shashflo and others openly mocked it, calling it hideous. People on Reddit pointed out the ridiculousness of Blake claiming trauma while carrying a purse worth more than a mortgage payment. It made her attempt to seem like a normal, vulnerable woman look completely fake and curated. This wasn't the first time Blake had pulled a stunt like this either. She'd done similar candid walks during past press tours. Media strategists even noted this clear pattern of staged relatability during times of reputational stress, especially legal disputes. Meanwhile, Blake's social isolation started to become very obvious. On April 28th, Gigi Hadid hosted her 30th birthday party, and Taylor Swift was there with mutual friends. Blake Lively? Nowhere to be seen. People magazine mentioned the absence briefly, but TMZ reported that Blake's name wasn't even considered for the guest list, which is a big deal since Gigi and Blake used to be super close. Even Blake's usual media support system seems to be pulling back. On April 26, Seth Meyers' show aired a correction segment where he joked about the backlash from his earlier interview with Blake. He said, "I guess I didn't read the room, or maybe I didn't read the subpoena." The audience laughed, but the message was clear. He knew about the controversy, and maybe even regretted having her on. Some analysts think Ryan Reynolds' connection to Mint Mobile, a sponsor of Seth Meyers' show, might have even influenced Blake's appearance in the first place, creating a conflict of interest. All these events paint a clear picture. The public is getting really skeptical of Blake's image. What used to work, the subtle paparazzi walks, the curated vulnerability, the selective social media posts, now feels completely transparent. Her strategy of acting wounded while quietly trying to manipulate the narrative is being exposed in real time, and the same Hollywood circle that once protected her is starting to step away. So yeah, Blake's narrative is falling apart fast.